Hello friends, this is Lokesh from Hackingloops. Today we are going to learn about another tool on Kali Linux for DNS information gathering, DNSRECON tool. DNSRECON tool is the best tool for DNS information gathering. Let's go to Kali Linux to begin our tutorial. In order to navigate to DNSRECON tool, go to Applications, Information Gathering, DNS Analysis, then DNSRECON tool. This will open a terminal showing all the basic commands that we can use with DNSRECON tool. At the top you can see the uses. Don't get confused with the uses part because they haven't changed it from the backtrack Linux. On backtrack Linux we have to use it like DNSRECON.py, but on Kali Linux we have to use it as DNSRECON, then options. Let me give you a brief about all the options available on DNSRECON tool. The very first option is -h. -h is basically to show all the help menu, means what all commands we can use with DNSRECON tool, like it is shown here. The next one is -d. -d is basically to specify your target domain, means the website or machine you want to target. The next option is -r. -r is basically to provide the IP range for doing a reverse lookup. Then there is another function as -n. -n is basically to provide the name server. If we don't provide the name server, what will it do? It will use the SOA DNS IP of the target, means whatever target you will mention, it will use its first SOA record as a name server. Then there is a -D option. -D option is basically used to provide the file name, means your word list file which you want to use for brute forcing all the subdomains and all the DNS related information. Now there is another important function which is called -t. -t is basically used to specify what type of enumeration you want to perform. As we all are aware that using DNSRECON tool we can do multiple types of enumerations. With -t option you can use multiple different options. In order to perform a standard enumeration, you can provide the command -t space std. In standard enumeration, we basically identifies all the SOA name server A, 4 times A, MX and SRV records. Then there is another type of enumeration available, RVL. RVL is basically for reverse lookup for a particular IP range. Then there is another option for brute forcing -BRT. Now we can also find out all the service records using a service enumeration, which we can do by providing -t space SRV. We can also use AXFR command to identify that a zone transfer is possible on the server or not. Why I like the DNSRECON tool? Because it also provides us the feature to extract all the subdomains and hosts from a Google search, which we can do using a Google enumeration, that is by providing GOO command. Now there is another very important function that you can provide. You can do a cache snooping, means you can search for the subdomains in the cache of a particular target. Now there is another enumeration, top level domain enumeration, which you can do with a DNSRECON tool, that you can do to identify all the top level domains registered for a particular target. By top level domain I mean we can use .com, .org, etc. We can also perform zone walking using a DNSRECON tool. Basically it is used to perform a DNSSEC zone walk using NSEC records. NSEC records are not quite being popular nowadays, Also, zone walking is quite a bit difficult on today's servers because the security of current servers is very good. Means they are properly configured and it is very difficult to perform zone transfers and zone walk. Now there are certain, we can also use certain other functions. Means if we want to do a combination of two different type of enumerations, we can use these commands. Dash A is basically to do a zone transfer with the help of standard enumeration. Means if you want, you can give a command dash t space std and then you can provide dash a. It will perform the standard enumeration and along with that it will also try to perform a zone transfer. Similarly, you can use dash s command for a reverse lookup. You can provide dash g for Google enumeration along with the standard enumeration. You can provide dash w for finding out all the whois information. You can also perform a zone walk along with a standard enumeration by providing dash z. Now there is another function dash dash threads. It is basically to specify the number of threads you want to run simultaneously. By default, if you don't provide it, it will by default choose 5. You can also specify any number of threads. I would prefer go by default or just specify 5 if you want to specify. Then there is another important function dash dash lifetime. Lifetime is basically by doing a DNS reckoning, we perform a different DNS queries on a server. It is basically to specify the maximum time we asked to wait for a particular query, for getting a particular response from a query. Say I want to execute a query only for the 5 seconds. I can specify dash dash lifetime space 5. Now there are some functions which are used to store your results in a particular format. Dash dash db is to specify your output file format as in a SQLite format, means as a database file. You can also specify as dash dash XML. This will store the file in the XML format. Similarly, there are other options like dash C to store in CSV format, dash J to store in JSON format. That's all about the options. So friends, let's see how to use a DNSRECON tool. I want to do all the DNS information gathering regarding our own website, say hackingloops.com. How I will do it? What I will do, I will give a command DNSRECON. I will specify my target dash d hackingloops.com. Now after that I want to use the default dictionary for the brute forcing, so I am not going to specify dash capital D option. Also I am going to perform against a single domain. I am not going to provide a range. Now I will specify the type of enumeration I want to perform. I want to perform a standard enumeration. I will specify std. Also I want to test a zone transfer with that. I will provide dash a option along with that. Now I don't want to specify the threads, means number of threads I want to use. I want to save the file in a XML format. So what I will do, I will specify XML and I will provide the path where I want to store it. I have already created a folder Hackingloops on the desktop and I will store it as new res.xml and I will press enter. Now you can see it has started gathering all the DNS information regarding Hackingloops. Let's wait, let it finish. It can take some time because it is enumerating all the different possible subdomains for hackingloops.com. So let it give some time to finish. The task has been finished. We are able to enumerate all the standard enumeration of our target, which was Hackingloops. Since the security of Hackingloops is quite good, so zone transfer is failed. You can see it means it has tried multiple name servers for a zone transfer, but it doesn't succeeded. And now you can see all the results of this are stored in a newres.xml. You can go and watch the results. You can close this window and go to Hackingloops folder to see the results. We have newres.xml. See, all the records are being written to a output XML file. Now we can visit to this file for any future reference. It is good to maintain the reports when we are doing a penetration testing for our clients. That's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the DNSRECON tutorial. So if you want more tutorials, keep visiting Hackingloops. If you have any questions, feel free to ask us on Hackingloops. Thanks for watching us.